So you see the Nick Cannon story that's going on? There's everybody's seeing it. It's the most famous thing Nick Cannon has done in a while.
You know, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, he got wild and out. Nick Cannon's a low key mogul. You know that, right?
Why is it that every time that somebody brings up Wilding Out, I feel like that's a show that was like on the air years ago?
It does feel like that.
I feel
but
like
it's
that's
still on
like
the air,
it's a show that like it's a show like if you told me whenever somebody starts talking about Wilding Out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that show used to be on, and people are like, oh no, it was just on like they got a whole new season that just started. I'm like, really?
Fam, you know, it's just like that. Is just like Dancing with the Stars is about to have season 29. Nigga, what? What? 29? There's been 29 of that? How is it possible that is that many C-level stars?
It used to be, right. They filled rosters.
Like,
they filled 29 rosters. Well, the first, 8 or 9 mattered, right?
Did they?
I mean, well, there were people that you were more familiar with, at least. By 15, they just had, one of the dancers who was in the first 4 seasons. She was a contestant. It was
started becoming famous.
She's famous from this show.
They got commercials and shit, man. They got TV ads. They're selling they're selling shit.
What a smooth move for the dancers on that show, though, because a few of them end up dating some of those celebrities, and it's these were dancers that nobody who knew who Maximoff was.
Nobody gave a fuck about that guy.
And nobody knew
who gave a fuck about that.
Remember
guy.
the Huff kids, the Huff kids, the 2 blonde Mormons who were definitely not Mormons anymore once Hollywood got a hold of them. Boy, Hollywood will take the Mormon right the fuck out of you, right?
Oh yeah, that's that shit.
Man,
they see that shit. I think Mormon make Hollywood dick hard.
Yeah, it's weird because I met Mormons in LA when I was out there, and they were both one was a singer and one I think was an actress, and it's just at some point you either have to end up not being that Mormon or you gotta be well, I gotta just do my shit independently.
you ever hook up with a Mormon chick?
No, not maybe a previous Mormon, but not a current. You know what I mean?
I think we don't have time for that in this episode. I want to talk more about the Nick Cannon shit because I think that's for a whole nother
so speaking of
story.
crazy religion shit, Nick Cannon was on a podcast with Professor Griff from Public Enemy fame and Strictly Public Enemy fame.
S1W.
So, I mean, you're Jewish by conversion now, correct?
Yeah, I chose to be chosen.
Yeah, and there's some family shit that we found about our Jewish history a few years ago that kind of
goddamn Ancestry.com
ancestral Jewishness that kind of showed up late in my stages because I'm not religious. I'm agnostic completely. And Nick Cannon was on his podcast with Griff, and there is a section of this offshoot of black religiousness after you get outside of the Christianity bubble, and then the Islam bubble. You get to this part where you get to this Hebrew Israelite bubble, and most people who are not black people already are like, wait a minute.
You lost me.
They forgot that there were Hebrews in Africa before slavery ever happened.
Ashkenazi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ashkenazi. It's got Nazi at the end, which is disconcerting.
It's I remember being a kid and my dad teaching me about the fact that Christianity is a religion that was brought to Africa, and that the slaves that were brought from Africa were generally of 4 religions, and that was Muslim, Hebrew, Egyptian, and Ethiopian, which were both religions. I'm sure there's some version of them still around, but those were of all the black people that showed up, there weren't any Bible thumping Christians in the group. Okay, so
yeah. There was no.
So in understanding this, at some point there was an offshoot group of black people that decided that they were the first Hebrews, and therefore white Jewish people must be on bullshit. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Right?
So here's where
I haven't studied in a while, but I'm close to on track. Right?
Here's where my cult upbringing
Rabbi Ben Ami kicks in.
No, here's where my cult upbringing. Not just fucking
right.
No, Nation Islam. So here's the deal.
And you grew up in the Nation, right?
Yes, in the Nation Islam. I do not completely disagree with.
He says with a Malcolm X shirt on.
I do not disagree with that. And that's X for me too, motherfucker. That's not the only nigga name with an X in his name. It's all the motherfuckers with X's in their name. I happen to be one, Xavier. But I don't disagree with the first part of that.
Right.
The early part about them being the
Right.
Original Jews. There
Right,
is some.
right,
There
right.
is some historical biblical
Sure.
evidence to suggest that
Sure,
they're
there's
right
some
about
potential
that.
validity to that. I'm not.
But then the white people on the bullshit and the devil thing. That's the part where I was like, I'm gonna get off the train right here.
Yeah. It's one thing to be like, black people originally from Africa were Hebrews also, and somewhere along the line, a bunch of white people also are Hebrews. I don't know how that works, but hey, man, whatever. But
do you want me to talk about where he's trying? No, because I'm gonna get canceled. Never mind. Because if I tell what he's trying to say, it's gonna come up. I'm saying I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it.
It's another thing to be like,
tweet me if you want to know.
It's another thing to be like, they stole our shit and now they run the banks, right? Like that's like, you can't say that part because one, that's not a real thing, right? They like you can't run the banks in Hollywood and all this shit, and also like have every generation try to completely genocide you completely. Like you would be able to pay your way out of this at some point before then.
Yeah.
Like they would have.
Who's paying for if they own all the banks? Who's paying for the tanks?
Yeah, who's funding
who's
these wars?
Buying the tanks? Like, why are they not? If they own all the banks, how are they not just like, hey, you know what? That guy over there, Kanahinky, how about he not get tanks?
Now,
how about
there is a
there are people who want to kill Jews that have missiles and shit.
Right. Yeah.
Missiles cost money. Nobody is giving missiles away.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This whole motherfucker is practically built off of missile money.
It's a
that's why our defense budget is what it is. That's missile money, man.
So there was a time in the 60s, and it was, within 10, 15 years of World War II ending, a lot of Jewish people had come to the U.S. The Black Civil Rights Movement was at this like big turning point, right? And there was like a simpatico between Jewish people trying to fight for their rights of like having their own thing, and black people fighting for their rights and having their own thing. And there was a disconnect, a jealousy, whatever created out of what the different groups were able to accomplish out of that situation. The lessons that Jewish people took from seeing how performative and effective the Black Panthers were in creating their own thing, and Jewish people took that and like really put that into Israel, honestly, and like grew their nation state on that. Well, to be honest, and so
one of the big differences,
what black people got was like COINTELPRO pushing drugs into the neighborhoods and shutting them down, and so
war on drugs,
and so like that is not necessarily Jewish people's fault either. Yeah. That still goes back to white people when you really get down to the end of it. So I don't know, man. I've seen Farrakhan speak twice. I wouldn't say I'm a Farrakhan supporter by any means. He has some of that. He does put some of that stuff out there, but he also says a bunch of anti-Semitic shit that makes it impossible to be like.
Let me tell you how
it ruins everything.
I grew up in Mosque Miriam in Chicago.
Yeah.
Minister Ishmael, who's been the minister there for literally almost 30 years, I think.
Right.
Like I'm almost certain I was there when he took over. Minister Ishmael is Elijah Muhammad's son.
Yeah.
And I think I was there when he actually officially got, took lead there. And the minister is a good man. Okay. I look at him very much. I feel the same way about him as I feel about Louis C.K. Like, I love a lot of shit that you did, man, but goddamn, like, come on, man!
Right,
you do a lot of really cold shit. Like, he has the nation. With people who don't know the Nation of Islam, because most people only thing they know about the Nation of Islam is that the minister is anti-Semitic, and I'm not even gonna argue whether or not he is. I'm gonna just cop
the
white
white people are the devil's thing. Is tough to get over, right?
Yeah, that is
the comments about savages and shit. It's tough to find a way to get like common ground.
You can't. the joke, and it's a joke, but it's also true. That's why it's funny.
Right.
Is I went to college to play basketball, and he's like, you told me the white man was the devil, but you didn't tell me nothing about these bitches. White women are fantastic. Save the whole race. I would have hated all you motherfuckers.
There's a redemption. Well, so here's what happens to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon gets fired from his contract with Viacom because he does have a show, for those of you who may have forgotten. He gets fired from his contract. There's a lot of people who are up in arms.
He was president or CEO of one of the Nick Jr. stations, I believe, too, and that's under Viacom as well.
Right.
So did he lose that bag too?
I don't know, but
I thought he had an ownership stake in that.
Did he get money
somehow.
from Mariah? Does he need to be doing any of this?
I think he had more money. See, here's the thing, Mike. Here's the thing. Nick Cannon is like sneaky, is a mogul. He's like Byron Allen, a dude everybody called corny, and he's just constantly just like over here low key buying shit,
Right.
Buying shit. Like he owns. I'm almost certain that he owns like a couple networks. That he like owns majority stake in a couple networks. So but that also might have been a joint thing with the Viacom thing. So he might have lost that bag too. I'm not sure.
So he did come out with an apology today. Did you?
I did not see that. I think I was in traffic.
He came out with a very long word apology. He didn't really. I mean, it's one of those apologies where it's like, there's no real, like the actual like words of like, hey, I said some dumb shit. I totally fucked up. I'm sorry. Like that part never ends up happening. It's always this like long-winded 8-paragraph fucking thing that's like, dude, just be like, you know what? I thought I knew some certain things and I spoke out in a way that I thought was what was right. Obviously, I've been informed that what I said was dumb. You know, I'm an entertainer guy. I say dumb shit sometimes. You know, I hope you'll forgive me. I don't mean any ill will. I love everybody. Peace, love, and hair grease. Right? Like it'd be so much easier for somebody to just go, man, I fucked up. I thought I knew a thing. It was based on this dumb shit. Since then, obviously, the world has let me know that was incorrect. I am smart enough to know when I am wrong. You know what I mean? Like, what a better idea to go, oh shit, I thought a thing because this was all the information I had. Now I know more information, and I realized I was an idiot.
This is the part we're probably gonna have to edit out of here because it's gonna get me canceled. Because it's gonna get canceled. Because if you're saying that Jews run everything, and then you get fired for saying that, it kind of seems like they just fired you. It proved his point. I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying. Look, if you said Excel every time you come in here, you be punching motherfuckers, and I'm like, fuck you, I ain't never punched nobody in here. Like, you're like, hey, man.
Well, that's obviously a more direct connection.
I don't know.
I mean, there are people that also just happen to like Jews and believe that they shouldn't be told that they like. There's some.
You shouldn't say anything bad about any.
Hold on, though.
One group except for white men. Fuck white men.
Think about being a non-Jewish person who's currently running some shit. That would piss me the fuck off, man. If I was just a good old Protestant and I ran, like, I don't know, oil, and this motherfucker claimed the Jews ran the world, I'd be like, hey, what about me?
Yeah.
I run some of the world. I'm not Jewish. Like, that would be the move, right?
I believe the company is called British Petroleum.
Right.